The world was dying, not just of old age, but of a terminal moral infection. Imagine a time so dark, so saturated with depravity, that a single divine verdict was rendered. Every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Towering stone walls, the monuments of human ambition, groaned under the weight of corruption. It was an age when giants walked the earth, not just in physical size, but in the magnitude of the darkness they cast over humanity's soul. These were the Nephilim. They were more than myths. They were the terrifying symptom of a world unraveling, caught in the fierce grip of moral decay and divine judgment. What led to this cataclysmic breaking point, when heaven itself seemed to intervene? Pause. Let your mind drift to those ancient days. Can you hear the faint echoes of the chaos, the clash of ideologies, and the whispers of forgotten giants? This is a journey into the heart of a world undone by its own choices. Before we continue, a quick note. The visualizations you see throughout this episode are computer-generated. They are AI-created illustrations used to complement the factual basis of our script, not archival footage. Faith and facts, uncovering history where scripture and archaeology converge. This is Episode 5, The Nephilim Sin, the catastrophe that broke the world, the moral entropy of Genesis 6. Genesis 6:2-5 casts a somber and haunting vision. This verse is not merely a snapshot of sin. It is a portrait of moral entropy, a relentless spiral downward where humanity's inner darkness began to fundamentally shape the outer world. What did this total collapse look like? The biblical text hints at a society where the core pillars of justice and mercy were obliterated by unchecked greed, endemic violence, and pervasive lawlessness. In this climate, the very idea of trust withered, and social structures crumbled beneath the weight of selfish ambition and cruelty. Pause. Picture walking through those ancient cities, once vibrant with life and hope. Now, the streets are heavy with silence, the air thick with despair. The only sound is the echoing cry of the oppressed. This is a world suffocating under the heavy cloak of sin. The Nephilim emerge directly into the spiritual rot. They are figures of legend, yes, but their presence is interwoven with this decay, suggesting a breakdown not just of human morality, but of the very fabric that held the cosmos in order. Many scholars interpret the Nephilim as the ultimate manifestation of humanity's hubris and defiance, an unnatural hybridization and a cosmic rebellion that blurred the sacred limits between the divine and the mortal. Their unnatural origin can be read as the pinnacle of disorder, an arrogant defiance of the boundaries set by the Creator, directly reflecting the chaos unfolding in the human heart. Theological perspectives on cosmic judgment. Theologians have long grappled with the precise trigger for the divine judgment of the flood. Was it primarily a reaction to the overwhelming, pervasive sinfulness of humanity? Or did the existence of the Nephilim, as an irreversible aberration of God's created order, provoke the decisive cosmic response? It was likely a complex and deadly interplay of both. The Nephilim exemplified the extreme limit of rebellion. Their violent and corrupt presence represented spiritual pollution, a blight on the earth that could no longer be tolerated. To truly grasp the depths of this rebellion, we must examine a key interpretive tradition, the Watcher's narrative. Drawing heavily from Jewish apocryphal texts like the Book of Enoch, this perspective offers a specific identification for the sons of God. They are not simply righteous humans, but rather a class of celestial beings, angels or watchers, who descended to earth. The Enochian account describes these watchers as possessing sacred knowledge, metallurgy, sorcery, warfare, and deliberately corrupting humanity by teaching forbidden arts and intermixing with human women, resulting in the Nephilim. The Nephilim, in this view, were not just human hybrids, but powerful, violent tyrants who accelerated the earth's descent into chaos. This interpretation shifts the blame from human failing alone to a cosmic insurrection. It suggests the flood was necessary not just to cleanse human corruption, but to quarantine the Earth from a spiritual contamination initiated by fallen celestial powers. This elevates the conflict to a truly cosmic scale, underscoring that the judgment was a decisive move to protect the integrity of the creation itself. Consider the flood as a moment of cosmic reset, a divine cleansing to restore order to a world consumed by chaos. This concept resonates strongly with ancient Near Eastern flood traditions, which universally frame such events as divine punishments for moral failings. Yet, the biblical account uniquely emphasizes not only punishment but also mercy, a protective action to preserve a righteous lineage and secure a new beginning for creation. Pause. Imagine the floodwaters rising slowly, swallowing landscapes, silencing the chaotic cacophony of human sin. Yet beneath the destruction lies the fragile, powerful promise of renewal, a fresh start dependent on one faithful family. How do we reconcile the severity of this unparalleled judgment with the ultimate hope of restoration that followed? This narrative forces us to confront the core balance between absolute justice and boundless compassion. Archaeological whispers of societal collapse, while the Nephilim themselves remain elusive to direct detection, forever shrouded in legend and theological symbolism. The wider context of massive societal upheaval before the flood is undeniably hinted at in the earth beneath our feet. Archaeologists have uncovered compelling evidence of ancient cities in Mesopotamia and the Levant suddenly abandoned or destroyed. Layers of sediment and debris across the ancient Near East point not just to natural disasters, but to abrupt environmental and societal shifts. For example, the famous city of Shirapik, excavated in modern Iraq, contains a definitive layer of flood sediment that speaks volumes. While linking this event directly to the global, biblical flood remains speculative, and scholars date this specific regional catastrophe to around 2900 BCE. The archaeological record undeniably echoes the themes of sudden upheaval, societal breakdown, and catastrophic renewal found in the Genesis account. It confirms that massive floods were powerful enough to wipe out entire civilizations, forever etching their memory into the regional consciousness. The archaeological record also reveals the widespread impact of the Ubad culture, which flourished across Mesopotamia before the Sumerian city-states emerged. The Ubad period, dating from roughly 6,500 to 3,800 BCE, shows a massive geographic expansion, unifying different settlements with distinct architectural and pottery styles, particularly in southern Iraq. However, this vast, early network of complex settlements appears to have experienced various forms of decline or transformation, potentially linked to the dynamic flooding river systems of the region. Furthermore, ancient texts like the Sumerian king list add a fascinating cultural echo. This list details kings who reigned for extraordinarily long periods, sometimes tens of thousands of years, before a major flood event. The list then resumes with kings whose reigns are dramatically shorter and more plausible. Scholars view these pre-flood, incredibly long reigns as mythological, symbolic figures, a possible literary representation of the same era of superhuman figures or giants whose influence preceded the Great Judgment. While not proof of Nephilim, these records underscore the deeply ingrained cultural memory of a monumental, quasi-mythological age of powerful rulers preceding an absolute cosmic reset. Beyond physical ruins, cultural traditions from neighboring peoples speak of giants, the Apkallu, or fallen ones. From the Babylonian epic of Gilgamesh to later Mediterranean folklore, these towering, powerful figures consistently symbolize the tension between human limitation and overwhelming cosmic forces. Before we move into their enduring legacy, I want to hear your thoughts. What is the most compelling piece of evidence, archaeological or cultural, that suggests a cataclysmic, world-altering event occurred? The Nephilim's enduring modern legacy, though the floodwaters erased the physical world inhabited by the Nephilim, their legacy did not vanish. Stories of giants continue to resonate across cultures, from the towering Cyclopes of Greek myth to the powerful Gitner frost giants of Norse legend. These are more than coincidences. They are the distant shadows of the Nephilim story reverberating across human imagination. Their presence raises profound questions about power and its limits. The Nephilim story confronts us with the ultimate danger of crossing boundaries, divine, moral, and natural, and the cataclysmic consequences that follow. Consider this legacy as a dark mirror reflecting the ongoing human struggle. Just as the ancient world faced a crisis of morality and systemic order, our modern age wrestles with ethical decay, impending ecological crisis, and the challenge of restoring balance. Pause. What crucial lesson do these ancient giants whisper to us now? Are they cautionary tales about the abuse of power, or chilling reminders of what happens when humanity decides it will respect no limits? Their enduring presence is a call to vigilance. It is a reminder that history's darkest chapters need not be repeated if we learn to recognize the signs of moral and societal decay early. Beyond the ruins and relics, the Nephilim story lives on, shaping the very stories we tell about power, morality, and the unknown. In our final chapter, we will leap from the ancient world into the present day. We will examine how the Nephilim remain woven into the fabric of modern thought, from radical theological speculation to scientific inquiry, and even, shockingly, into contemporary UFO and conspiracy theories. What might the Nephilim mean for us now, thousands of years later? Is the cosmic rebellion truly over? Faith and Facts invites you to journey with us one last time, where ancient mysteries meet modern inquiry and the search for truth continues. Click on the video on your screen to see our earlier episodes, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the finale.